Buckwalter Place is a nationally recognized 94-acre mixed-use Newtown development located in Bluffton, South Carolina, near Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. Buckwalter Place consists of a mixture of uses including retail, office, residential, entertainment, recreational type opportunities, hospitality, and much, much more. Buckwalter Place is located geographically in a very central location to Savannah, I-95, Beaufort, and Hilton Head, South Carolina. Hello, this is Matt Green, and I'm part of the Buckwalter Place development team. I'd like to welcome everyone to our Buckwalter Place Greenway Trail, a vision that has been over 5 years in the making of our development team and now has come to fruition with the wonderful help of the town of Bluffton and the state of South Carolina. One of the key amenities that we look at for Buckwalter Place is the outdoor recreational type activities. We brainstormed and realized that we could create a very unique amenity not only for Buckwalter Place but the entire Buckwalter and Bluffton region for exercising, for recreational use, and many other educational opportunities that it may provide. The town of Bluffton was a true public partner in this endeavor. I am very pleased to introduce to you our Mayor of Bluffton, Miss Lisa Salka, to talk a little bit about Bluffton and her vision on the trail. Take it away, Lisa.
This is Lisa Salka, Mayor of this wonderful town we call Bluffton, located between I-95 and the gateway to Hilton Head. Come on out and explore and discover. When you hear Bluffton, South Carolina, it's followed by a Bluffton state of mind. You move into this town and you take ownership of this town, whether you've lived here for a year or 50 years. And it's a community, and it's such a unique little area, and you're just in the heart of the Lowcountry. You're in the best spot in South Carolina. So this Buckwalter Trail is a little over a mile and a half. It just is another venue to get people outdoors.
The Buckwalter Place Greenway Trail has many points of interest that enable you to truly experience some of the wonderful ecosystem that we have here in the Lowcountry. For example, the freshwater wetland. The importance of this wetland is that it is perfect habitat for aquatic vertebrates such as frogs, salamanders, and sirens that spend part, if not all, of their lives in these systems. These special species do not thrive in wetlands inhabited by fish because they tend to become prey. Many of these species are protected and some are endangered, like the gopher frog. Another main important aspect that you will see as you travel around this trail are the stormwater lagoons. Stormwater lagoons can be found in many developed areas. Although sometimes used for recreation purposes, the primary role of these lagoons is to protect our wetlands, rivers, and creeks by filtering rainwater. Any runoff after a rain is captured in these lagoons, along with the contaminants it contains. The water is filtered to the soil as well as through aquatic vegetation in the storm water lagoons. The contaminants are generally heavier than water and sink to the bottom, where after time they are neutralized. Some of the specific things that you will see on the trail include the loblolly pine, which is known in the wood industry as a southern yellow pine. It is common to the southeast and has been cultivated for both lumber and paper production due to its rapid growth. Pay attention for the white-tailed deer. At present, white-tailed deer can be found from southern Canada to South America. Deer thrive in disturbed areas where there is an abundance of new vegetation close to the forest floor. This disturbance can result from forest fires, hurricanes, or development by humans. Also be on the lookout for the red-bellied woodpecker. This woodpecker can be found in open and swampy woodlands. The southern magnolia also is considered one of the most beautiful and fragrant native trees. A mature tree can grow 60 to 80 feet and may bloom several times a year, producing large white flowers. Also be on the lookout for the saw palmetto. Although saw palmettos can grow in many different habitats, they are the dominant ground cover in southern southeastern pine forests. Black bears, white-tailed deers, and feral hogs eat the fruits of saw palmetto. Now for a broader perspective on how this Buckwalter Place Greenway Trail relates to the entire waterways and ecosystem here in the Lowcountry. I'm pleased to introduce Kristen, a naturalist with the Lowcountry Institute.
Hi, I'm Kristen, and I am an environmental educator for the Lowcountry Institute. I also work with the Master Naturalist program. My favorite thing about the Lowcountry is that it has such a rich diversity of animals and plants, especially because of the salt marsh, which is a habitat that supports all sorts of marine organisms. And then when you get out of the salt marsh and you get on land like where you are now, there are upland habitats, pine forests, wetland areas that support new types of organisms. Well, the area that you are right now is a very unique area, and it's part of the greater Port Royal Sound system. So this area is affected by a few unique factors, such as very, very high tides, high salinity water, and very deep channels. The reason that the water here is so high in salinity is because we have very little fresh water flowing in. Normally you think of rivers flowing down from the mountains, meeting the ocean, and they mix to form brackish water. But here, most of our creeks are actually fingers of the tide that go inland. And you can even, as far inland as I-95, get salt marsh, which requires ocean-strength salinity water in order to survive. The very deep waters are also partly a factor of not having water, rivers from up in the mountains flow into our area, and that's because they're not bringing down sediment. So there's no sediment coming in and filling up the channels. That's one of the reasons that the Port Royal Sound area was first settled when the Europeans came over here, because it was the deepest natural port available. And the last thing is that there's very high tides. Due to the shape of the coastline, the same volume of water is pushed into a smaller and smaller space. So what that means is between high and low tide, we can actually get a difference of 8.5 feet. And on very big tides, sometimes even 10 feet. That results in huge expanses of salt marsh, and salt marsh is an extremely productive and important habitat type that provides the basis for our marine fisheries, for shellfish, shrimp, cobia, redfish, and all sorts of other game species that people really enjoy. If you're interested in learning more about nature here in the Lowcountry, you can take our 12-week course co-sponsored through the Clemson Extension Service, where you'll travel to various field trip locations and learn everything there is that you need to know about being a naturalist here in the Lowcountry.
The May River is our amenity, and it's why everyone lives here. We are surrounded by water. We're surrounded by the Colleton River, and we're surrounded by the May River. So even though we're a mainland, we feel like we're an island. This county is over 54% water. And one of my fondest memories and one of the smells that you get when you're in the Lowcountry is crossing over one of our mini bridges, say coming into Bluffton or going into Hilton Head, and you roll down that window and you have that smell of salt and oysters, and you look over all of that water and you know you are home. And you get it when you move here, when you first visit here, and you start seeing the many waterways, and you roll down your window and you get that sea air smell and the warm sunshine. You know you're next to heaven. And people get that. When people move here, they're not here very long, and you'll say that and everyone kind of smiles. I am Lisa Salka, Mayor of Bluffton, South Carolina, and I welcome you to come visit us, whether it's walking down one of our many, many paths. Y'all come.
If anyone has additional information or input they would like to provide for our Greenway Nature Trail program, please contact citytreks.com to help and assist with the trail.
A production of City Treks, LLC. Digital media content. Capture, creation, publishing, distribution. All rights reserved.